Hello everyone. Finally, sorry about that. Completely forgot to turn the microphone on then. Like an absolute idiot. So we're here for round 2 in Mexico. We have got 19 drivers, so short qualifying will be here for this one. We are doing full grid only now for full qualifying to be used for this season. So we've got everyone apart from Oro, Miller and Pete's are currently on fast laps, and Oro coming through sector 1, fastest overall as we speak. What the hell is going on with that? And we've got Pizza currently fastest in sector 2. He is the first driver to do his fast lap, so so benchmark will be on him for this time around. And once we see what Pizza sets, we'll go on to back to Oro to see where he can put the Aston Martin today. Oh, what's going on here? Right, we are restarting for this one. Yeah, so we'll be back in a moment. Sorry about that, everyone. 2 seconds. While we wait for the restart, I will put up this current standings for this season after round 1, that is. So Adam currently taking the lead with the Aston Martin team in second place. No, Aston Martin team in first place, sorry, the Red Bull team in second place after a fairly strong start to their season. McLaren are currently third, Mercedes are fourth, so a lot to play for going into the next, well, all season really, but a very strong start from the Aston Martin team. A strong start for the 3 podium finishes last week of Adam, McCoy and Logan. Can they look on for what could be a second consecutive podiums for all 3 drivers, or will Mexico become a little bit more challenging than they are first thoughts today? Right, so we'll be back in a moment. Right, hello, we are back. Not 100% sure what's happened, but we go with it. So yeah, we will start off with qualifying now, and I'll be honest, I'm not too sure if it's full qualifying. I forgot to look. So as we wait for cars to go out on the track, we'll just, here we go, we have a car, and it's a Haas of it is Jenson out first on track for his flying lap now. Well, is out lap, sorry, getting his tyres nice and warm as he goes round for this, and hopefully he can set a lovely little benchmark for the other 18 drivers to try and beat. So a pretty decent race, or why it was wrong actually, let's double check. So yeah, a half decent day for Jenson last week. He did score a single point in Canada after what looked to be a fairly tough race at times, but he did manage to pull through and pull something out of the bag for himself and his team. So let's see how he does on this qualifying lap. Here we go then, as he starts his first flying lap, down the longest straight on the circuit, around 1.2, around a kilometre long I believe it is. Up into turn 1 we go, DRS all the way down, and up into turns 2 and 3 we go, takes them quite nicely into the second DRS zone of the circuit, wide open again, up into 4 and 5, lovely little lap time sector there, doing very well as we speak. Let's put this up as that will be very helpful right now. So Jenson has come through set 2, he's looking pretty good through these S's, little wobble there, had to do a slight correction, slightly on the exit of the S's there, unfortunate for him. He is pretty quick through there though, but he has got an Aston Martin behind him, and is it borrowed? It is indeed, chasing down his last rival at the minute, and looking to put in just a bit of set time as Jenson right now. He goes quickest, and Oro beats it pretty quickly by almost a whole second. 7 goes even quicker, and the both of them beats it up to 3rd as well, as we head down to Rice here, and looking very good for them. Where will this lap put him? Is due to an awful amount of battery at the minute, and we have got Anime and Mr. G clocking in at 7th and 8th at the minute. McCoy up into 4th, Oliver up into 3rd, pretty good lap times there for them all at the minute, and plenty of movement up and down here, and I suppose 6th fastest, pretty good lap time there for the Alpine driver. Looking very solid so far, and a major improvement from his previous qualifying last time out, and looking very strong so far. As we move further down the grid, we've got Dr. 5's Capitano, Logan and Shifty all on their flying laps, so all dotted around the track as well. So Capitano has just started this flying lap, 5's is on the medium so far, and looking pretty strong here. He will go up. Well, he will go 13th fastest on the medium tyre. It's a pretty good lap there with a 16.098. Pretty solid and a decent first lap. He will be able to improve massively when he goes on to the soft tyres, and Logan's had an unfortunate spin there towards the end of his flying lap on the soft tyres. Not what he would have wanted, potentially some wing damage as well. And he will dart off into the pits. There is an end plate missing. That's going to be absolutely gutting there for the Ferrari driver. Luckily he didn't have to go all the way down to get back into the pits. We've got his teammate here, Anime, on a second flying lap. He's absolutely pushing at the minute. Will he match his time? He's gone 4 tenths quicker. He's also got the quickest sector 2 time at the minute as well. And going up into the final couple of corners here. Here we go. Hits that apex, lovely. Goes as close to the wall as he dares right now. And across the line to set a 15.16, almost 7 tenths quicker, and goes up to P4. Bear in mind he is on the medium tyres. He's absolutely flying right now and looking brilliant for him in the Ferrari minute. So, heading up further back, we've got Doctor now in the Williams as we come to the end of the style. Now he is invalidated, so he's backed off down. He goes for another push lap. Where can Doctor put himself this time around? He had a pretty good unfortunate race last time. I believe he was here for the season opener. Let me double check no, I don't believe no, I don't believe he was here last time. So let's see how Doctor does here. 18th place at the minute, hasn't set an out time, but pretty strong right now, and what will he do in this section now? 57.706 so far is his benchmark in that section. He does go slightly wide on the exit there and has invalidated his lap. Once again, he's going to be a little bit annoyed with himself there. Will he go into the pits and possibly change tyres? He does. Probably a brave, a sensible idea there for the Williams driver. So Jenson and Ego now on one is just up to the end of sector 2. He is slightly up on his time as Jenson, looking solid again on that third part of that. Ego hasn't put himself as a marker so far in qualifying. 11th fastest currently and has gone quickest in the first sector. Looking fairly strong so far. What can he do on the rest of this lap? He's got half of the bomb through the SSB go, takes the apex in really nice here, and solid through there. DRS wide open into the third and final DRS zone, and he is 6.5 tenths, almost 7 tenths up now as we go into the final 3 corners. Bit of a lock up from the McLaren ahead. Will that cost Ego a little bit of time here? Looks dirty there on the exit there, but he does do enough to go 6th fastest and improve a fair chunk of time. 8.5 minutes to go, and qualifying so far has gone a fair few, not surprises, but a fair few drivers following up on the most random strategy, qualifying strategies here from that on medium tyres and sets the purple sector to pretty strong on this lap. By the looks of it, he is just going and going and going. There's no, oh, that's unfortunate for Anime. Really unfortunate on the far exit that corner. He will dive into the pits and possibly change the tyres there. So McCoy is on an in-lap final to this. So is Fires has just gone 5th quickest from 15.012. Pretty strong time there from Howard. Both the Howards in the top 10 at the minute, and with his teammate McCoy in 8th. He is on his in-lap. We've got Mr. G currently starting into the pits. He has invalidated his lap, unfortunately. MJ in the Sauber also invalidated his lap. That's unfortunate for him. Not what he would have wanted in qualifying in a minute. Capitano in the house is not much batch left, blasting it all the way to his line and goes 14th fastest, 9 tenths up in his time, and could potentially see him do fairly well there. We've got Logan in the Ferrari at the minute. 17th fastest, not his best qualifying out of the two so far this season. He did much better in Canada last week, and could he possibly propel himself further up the field? Doctor now on his flying lap. Will he get round the final couple of corners here? He's done very well. Fairly well this lap here as 17.7. Much more time to be taken out that, but he does find himself back on the table and can now work his way up the order. So Ice currently potentially on an in-lap. We'll come back to him in a moment. We've got Anime on the soft tyres. He is on a fly lap. Let's see how he does this time around. He's currently 5th fastest on the medium, no, 7th fastest on the medium side. On fairly old tyres at the time, 15.105 for his fastest lap, and currently 2 tenths quicker than that lap, and pretty strong through that horrible left, right, and takes the double right-hander to perfection there. Through the S as we go up into the DRS zone. We give him a good around 20 miles an hour extra speed down here. Probably maybe a bit less for how short that DRS zone is. He is purple sector 2 as well. Up into the final couple of corners we go with Anime. And will he put that Ferrari into the top 3? Fairly strong so far, and he does go the quickest with a 14.566. Only 21 milliseconds quicker than the Williams of 7. What a fantastic lap there from Anime, and shows why he took last season's championship after a pretty decent season. And will he try and defend it this time around? On to the Aston Martin Avoid. He is on in lap for a cool down lap potentially, maybe just wasn't happy with the soft tyres after his outlap maybe, but who knows. We have got 7 on his outlap now, looking to try and take his P1 spot back that Anime took off with him there. We've got Avo in 8th. We've got Adam in the second Aston Martin here in 10th place. So looking good for the Aston Martin team once again this time around. And both of them in the top 10. Quickest for Adam now. Half a second quicker than his previous lap. He's looking very, very strong so far. What can he do through this final, the stadium part of the track here? And that is horrible. Sorry about that. And he goes quickest with a 14.514. He's half a tenth quicker than the Ferrari and the Williams. What can they do in return to that qualifying time for Adam? That was absolutely brilliant from him there. Has propelled Aston Martin to a 1-4 so far, and a strong start to the season for these two drivers at the minute. So Oro is 4th fastest at for Aston Martin. What can he do to put a dent into the Williams and Ferrari? Can he join his teammate on the front row here with not much time remaining? Well, with around a minute remaining, what can Oro do? He stays 4th fastest. He does take some time off of his previous and goes to a 14.7. We've got Jensen, who's just done 40 milliseconds quicker than Oro, and this top 5 is extremely close. 2 tenths separating all drivers here. We've got Logan, who's chucked himself into 11th at the minute. Pretty good there for the Ferrari driver. We've got Ice, who's currently 12th fastest. And what can he do through the stadium section? He takes it nice and cleanly there. Up into the final 2 corners we go. Where can the Alpine put himself now? And he goes 8th fastest. Brilliant up there from Ice. Absolutely fantastic now. And we head to MJ, who's just pulling over to see other cars past him. Here comes Mr. G past MJ will go, and the checkered flag has come down. That is it for Pizza Shifty, Dr. Capitano and Ego here for their lap. Capitano has just finished his lap. He is 12th fastest at the minute. We've got Mr. G flying around into sector 2 we go, and we've also got Anime very close behind the Red Bull driver at the minute as well. Let's jump on board Anime and watch both their laps here. He's getting a massive time. He's a 10.5 up on his previous time. Exception goes third quickest now. This is an extremely close qualifier here. Where can Anime stick this Ferrari? Can he hit Exception to top spot? And he does. He goes 14.1. He's just over 3 tenths quicker. Absolutely flying that time there from Anime, and showing what he can do when he needs to. So where did Mr. G put himself? He went 14th fastest, and every other driver now has slowly crossed the line. We've got the 2 Saubers here in 15th and 16th. MJ and Ryan are going to be slightly disappointed with themselves there, but no doubt can build their way up the grid as we head towards the race shortly. what a fantastic qualifying that was. We've got Anime, Exception, Adam, all within a few tenths of each other now, and looking to be, or what could be, a fantastic battle for all of those. So we've got Anime, Exception, Adam, 7, Oliver, Oro, Jensen, 5, Ice, Ego, McCoy, Capitano, Logan, Mr. G, MJ, Ryan, Pizza, Shifty and Doctor to round off the grid. They were some fantastic laps there for the drivers. Absolutely brilliant into qualifying. Pole position constantly swapping. No one knew who was going to take it, but the Anime comes out on top. Pips, well, just takes it by a few tenths. The other drivers just missing out, but it is all to play for now. In the race we'll have, I believe it is around 30 odd laps for this race, so everyone will need to be on their toes and doing what they do best. Right, so everyone is getting their setups ready, making any final adjustments that they need to, or feel that needs to be changed, like a possible front wing angle, maybe their differentials if they weren't quite right in qualifying, potentially even their tyre pressures if they feel like they need to run something slightly higher or maybe something slightly lower for the long race that we have here. And for their tyre strategies in general, no doubt we could see a mix of maybe a 1-stop or a 2-stop, potentially for some drivers depending on what they want to start on. The mediums can go to around lap 12 to 15, I believe it is, around here, and the hards will do at least 20-ish laps, maybe slightly more if they are lucky and can manage it pretty well. So it will be 36 laps for this race. So yeah, definitely a medium to hard strategy will pay off nicely for the drivers. Yeah, the mediums will last at least the 15 lap mark. The hards will definitely take you till the end. just a little bit of management maybe towards the end, depending on how much these 19 drivers push, and depending on track surface and temperature as well, with getting the heat into the tyres quickly enough and at a reasonable manner, so they don't burn them out too quickly or in the first few laps. So here we go. We don't have formation, I believe, so we are going straight into it, and we're off. Anime drops down to 4th straight off the line. We've got Exceptional 7 heading into turn 1 now. We've got Adam and Oro up in a 3rd and 4th as well. What a crazy start we've got. We've got Logan and Anime now both dropping. Anime down to 11th off the start of the race. That will be absolutely unfortunate for them. But we have got Exception taking an 8-10th lead. He is absolutely flying right now. And 7, Oro Oliver leading us, or following behind. Absolutely lovely camera angle there. All the cars coming through that horrible corner and through the double right-handers. So, few changes here. We've got Jensen and Ice making a battle through the S as we go. We've got the McLaren as well trying to sneak in behind. There we go, the confirmation of the two strategies as well, of a medium to hard or the soft medium hard strategy. Not sure why many drivers would go with that specific strategy, but we may see it in a moment once we have seeing what tyres everyone starts on. And the only hard runners are Mr. G and the Haas of Jensen. They are looking to go long in this race and make the most of them tyres in the early stages. We've got everyone else, as you can see, starting on the mediums and looking to potentially take the hards to the end, depending on as well what if they feel the softs will be needed at any point throughout this, or even potentially looking for, if there's an early safety car, to dive in to the pits for the hards. So as we head down, we have got some gaps opening up now, with everyone from 10th down in a long old DRS train at the minute. There isn't much time between them. Logan has dropped off through the S's. It's not what he would have wanted. Does he have the DRS though to try and catch back up to the Sauber of Ryan? I think he has caught a little bit, but not quite enough to be able to get the DRS in to the main straight. He is 1.1 seconds and not quite enough. He's going to have Capitano, McCoy, MJ all on his tail down this main straight. So let's jump on board McCoy and see what happens ahead of us. We've got Capitano making a move on Logan. He is then also going to, McCoy is also going to try and make the move into turn 1. He does back off and he will have DRS once again into the second straight on this lap. Here we go. Will McCoy try and make the move? He is half a second behind. He's got MJ just behind him as well. Will McCoy have enough? Not quite this time around. And Logan survives turns 3 and 4. He did use a fair bit of battery though to try and stay on the back of Capitano, so he didn't get lose DRS for the straight coming up in a moment's time. We've got the McLaren now still on the back of Logan. We've got MJ as well slowly dropping off, but he will have DRS into this straight now as we come into the stadium section of the circuit. Pizza and Doctor doing, what a flipping horrible camera that was. Do not want to see the front wing of the cars at the minute. So we've got Pizza and Doctor coming up through the final corner. Will they try and make the move? Pizza has made the move on MJ. He's now up to 14th place. And Doctor will try and make the move on MJ as well. Will he do it before turn 1? He does and stays ahead. And we've got Mr. G trying to sneak past. He's battling Doctor through them corners. A little bit of a wheel tap there between MJ and Mr. G as well. And they do finally give each other a small bit of space, and Mr. G gets past for them for 16th. We've had a fair few battles at the back here, and we've missed a fair few at the front while that was happening. 7 is into the lead at the minute. He is 1.9 seconds ahead and taking this race by his own at the minute. Mr. G receives a 3-second penalty. Oro currently P2 as it stands and looking for anything to try and get back on to the gearbox of 7, who's currently leading. We've got the Alpine of Oliver and I was about to say 4th place Adam, but he's now up into 3rd place, as we were saying, about to say that, and looking pretty strong for an Aston Martin double podium at the minute. They are storming ahead, and Adam will have the DRS once again, and he's closing that gap on his teammate as well. Ego gets past Oliver. He is now down to 5th place, but he is just ahead of his teammate, who's in 6th. And the Alpines having a decent opening few laps to this race, while Exception has dropped down to 7th in that Red Bull. Not what he would have wanted, but no doubt can make his way back up the field for in the next few laps here. He has had a bit of a moment and started to has dropped back to just under 2 seconds and has a time penalty. Not what he would have wanted either. So we've got Oliver, Ego, Adam all in a DRS line here, and Oro is also got DRS on the race leader of 7. What can he do going into turn 1? He is gaining on 7, but not at a quick enough pace to what he would want right now. So he will have it again once we get onto the straight. Here we go, and he has opened it now. He is 6 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind, and gaining a little bit quicker this time around, but not quite enough to be able to make the move. He is going to be sitting there now for another few corners. But 7 goes slightly wide on that exit there and has allowed the Aston Martin to close the gap slightly more, and will need to do a lot of work to gain the gap that he had back. So we've got Adam, who's also trying to get past his teammate as well. He's done pretty well to make a fair few positions up this, I will get there. Right, he has done well to contain 3rd place. He won't be too happy that his teammates made 4 places up in this race, but both Aston Martins looking very strong still, and a long way to go for them as well. We've got Ego making his way up into 3rd place, and Adam defending for all he can. He does lose out this time around, and Jensen gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not what the Haas driver would have wanted this race, and definitely not what his team would have wanted, because now he's going to need to serve that on his 2nd pit stop, which is going to hold him back even further than what this one will put him back. So the top 5 now separated by around 1.4 seconds, and looking to be one hell of a race for the win here. So Oliver has a slight lock up now, as Fives in the background gets past the Red Bull of Exception. He is looking pretty strong. He's up 2 places now and absolutely flying. Exception though will have the DRS on Fives, so he can try and close that gap as quickly as he can. It is around the 6/10 that gap. Capitano in the background as well, with Logan on his back, almost getting past him in the background there. So that will be a nice little battle to look at in a moment. We've got Adam trying to get, losing a fair few positions there. He's lost it to Oliver and Ago now. Ago has a moment, he goes off, concedes position to the Aston Martin driver, and they are now battling out for 4th and 5th once again, and Adam lets him pass. That could be tactical for the DRS here, as they have now dropped 2 seconds behind the leading 3 cars, who are, oh my days, that is close between them, less than a couple of attempts, and there's a massive bit of contact there between 7 and what looked to have been, was it Adam, or not too sure what's happened there, but Ago is out of the race. There is a safety car. What a crazy couple of corners that was between the leading 3 cars. There was less than a tenth between them, and a huge, fairly big collision between what looked to be 7 and possibly, was it, I believe Oro at the time, and that has just ruined a couple of people's races. Ago then goes round the corner and unfortunately hits the wall and DNF'd from this race on lap 8 at the time. We will now have a safety car, and a fair few drivers have jumped into the pits to change their tyres, and no surprises there really. So with the safety car coming out, we have got Oliver, Oro, Adam, Fives, Capitano, Logan, Logan, Doctor, Mr. G, Exception and 7 as your top 10, and everything else now all to play for, with this bunching the grid up even more so. So let's have a look to see who has put the fresh tyres on under this safety car. So we've seen 7 McCoy, Ryan, Anime, Exception, Pizza, Ice, Shifty, Adam, Jensen, Capitano, Logan, MJ all stick fresh tyres on, with the remaining 5 drivers all staying out on their current tyres. That will including the top 4 and 5s, whose has dropped down. An Exception has given him the place back, and he's unfortunately can I chuck him in and bike quick? we have got the safety car for what on earth is going on? Really sure safety car is in this lap, and we have got penalties galore. We've got drivers saying because of this mess up with the safety car here, we've got drivers overtaking each other as well before they're even at the safety car line. This has become one hell of a mess up right now, but we continue on. So Oliver 07, all the leading cars at the minute, they are heading down the second straight on the circuit. They are pretty close again, and Oro and 7 make a tiny bit of contact through there, and I'm still getting told safety car, not too sure why. This signal app, it's complete and utter rubbish. Can't tell you much yet. So as we are heading through the third longer straight, not the longest, but the third longest straight on this circuit, we are heading through the stadium and heading down on to the main straight. We've got 7 tenths separating the top 3 drivers. We've got Doctor slowly dropping off, with Mr. G closely following. What will happen in the next few moments between Mr. G and Doctor, who knows? But we've got Oliver and 7 are swapping places here. Oliver is staying in front, with 7 and I swapping places slightly behind. This is a fantastic battle between the top 3 drivers here. What else is going to happen in this race? So, here we go, through the S as we go. 7 and I will have the DRS at the moment. They are storming through here now, although dropping slightly off. Right, we'll come back to that battle in a moment. Doctor now, we're currently in P4 with 3 seconds of penalties. We are about to see potentially a few drivers get past, depending on what he can do down this main straight. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers all fighting it out for this 4th position, and McCoy gets past into P4, going through the gun before the turn 1 braking zone. And massive contact there. Doctor just looks to have turned into the Mercedes of Pizza there, not the outcome he would have wanted in that battle with the Williams driver. Definitely something that shouldn't have happened, and a lot more space could have been given there. So Anime as well creeping up the order once again. He is currently P7. He did box for the hard tyres on the safety car and looking to capitalise on the drivers ahead. He's going to make a move on Mr. G, makes it done, and they get past each other, or Anime does get past Miss Exception, and then he does try and make the move on Mr. G, and he gets it done. They are having a bit of a scrappy battle there, and Mr. G is being attacked now by Adam. He's trying to get past. He looks to make a move, but does stay in the slipstream of the Red Bull. But Exception makes the move into turn 1. He is now up and 8. He's got, now Adam's also got Ryan on his back there, trying to get past. We've got a huge DRS train here between a fair few drivers. Almost half the grid, if not more, are all following each other, and we've got a little bit of contact at the front here. What is going on between the two Red Bull drivers of Exception and Mr. G? We've got Adam trying to scrape around the outside of the car, and Fives has just not his, oh my days. We've got Adam, Mr. G, Exception all just scrapping on the track here. What on earth has happened here? This is some shocking races between some of the drivers, and what is Mr. G doing? He should not have done that. He's just... I don't know what is going on tonight. Some tensions are high between some of the drivers at the minute. They are scrapping for anything and everything. This is some erratic driving going on tonight, and the two Red Bulls are at it again, heading down the main straight. Mr. G gets past Exception this time, and it is slightly cleaner. What will happen between them now? This is definitely not what is going to be wanting on the pit wall between the two Red Bulls, and their team principal is going to be furious at the end of it. He is not going to be wanting this to happen ever again. Exception did lose his front wing in that turn 1 contact, and he is just trying to do everything he can to get past his teammate, but Mr. G is just defending for all he can here. They have lost a fair bit of time while they've been battling, and not what they would have wanted. They would have wanted to try and stay on the back of the Aston Martin of Adam. And while all of that has been happening, Anime is up to 4th, and they are going at it once again between the two Red Bulls. But Mr. G stays out on top. He will be, his teammate will be on the attack at the moment with the DRS. We will also have Pizza Logan on his tag as well. We've got... what's just happened now? Has Oliver just taken a massive wobble? Is he in the pits? In a minute. We'll come back to that battle in a moment. I believe Oliver has just gone into the pits. Mr. G has dropped down to 7th. He's got Logan a 10th behind him, and the Ferrari does get past into turns 5 and 6 now. Was that a little bit of wind coming off there? I'm not too sure, but we've now got Exception up into 5th. Pizza has dropped off and is a second and a half now behind his Red Bull rival, and Logan up into 7th. Great drive from his qualifying position at the start, and Mr. G is in back down to 8th. He will have, well, he did have DRS that time round. He will have it once again in a moment. Let's see what let's see the penalties, the tyres, sorry, for each driver. So yeah, we've got Oliver, who did box for fresh tyres. We've got Oro, who also has recently boxed, and same with Proctor. Same with Doctor, who's also recently boxed for the fresh tyres. So everyone now on the hard compound except for Jensen, who's done 11 laps on the medium so far. So we will need to do another stop in this race towards the end, as unfortunately they are not going to last the final 18 laps of this race. It will be an absolute miracle if he makes it though. So position changes for this race as well. Oh, I've done it again. So plenty of changes here. We've got Pizza up 12, McCoy up 9, 7 up 3. We've also got Mr. G, MJ, Logan all up 7 places. A fair few movers in this race and a fair few little scraps going on as well. So Logan up into 5th place now, past the Mercedes, like it was absolutely nothing. He will also get DRS into this next part of the circuit as we head as we are on now lap 19. So everything to still play for, and everything still to play for in the last final half of this race. We have now got Anime up into 2nd. He is storming ahead now, storming through the field. He's 7 seconds behind 7, his potential, his last season rival, sorry, and potentially going to do everything he can now to catch up with him. He will have, Anime does have McCoy behind him and doing whatever he can now as well to try and get away from him. McCoy will have DRS unfortunately though for Anime, and it will be pretty dangerous down here. He's gained exceptionally quick, almost around 6 tenths down that straight with the DRS open. He is now 6.5 tenths into 7 tenths behind, going down to the second DRS straight. Will he get past him into turns 5 and 6 here? He is quick with the DRS open and not quite quick enough this time around, not quite enough road for him to pick up the speed. So Anime 6.9 behind the leader, and 7 is slowly running away with this race. We've got Shifty in the pits again, and Adam driving past. Ice will also get past for 16th place in a moment. And there we go, we see it there on the mini-map. So Jensen does drop down to 17th place. Not the race he would have wanted. He had a pretty decent qualifying, but hasn't quite had the race pace he would have wanted. McCoy to 1.1 seconds now behind Anime. Does he have DRS? Will he get will he close the gap enough this time around? And what can he do into turn 1? Not quite enough once again this time, and we'll try to make the move once again into turns 5 and 6. Would he have enough this time? And does have his DRS open. He's not quite using his battery. He's being clever right now and saving up. Possibly just going to sit behind the Ferrari and for a few laps and get a little bit of tow to catch up to the leader, and possibly put a fight on with them both towards the tail end of this race. They are 5.5 seconds behind. Plenty of laps remaining for them both to get there. So heading down now for this battle for 4th, we've got Exception and Logan here, looking for a little ending for their race in a few laps, and could potentially, well, this battle could potentially last the final 14 or 15 laps here. They are going to go down into turn 1. Logan will have DRS 8/10 behind. What can he do for, can he get into P4 before turn 1? Not quite enough speed on his car there, but doing whatever he can to try and stay within DRS for the rest of this lap. We'll have it once again though as we head into once again into turns 5 and 6, and not quite making enough of a dent in that time there. He is still around 6/10 behind, as we see some movement here between MJ and Capitano. What can these two provide through the S section after these horrible little right-handers now? And as we go into the S's, MJ is 4/10 behind. Mr. G now is also caught up pretty quickly just before the detection point, and we now have once again a three-way battle for P7. This race has had a fair bit of action so far between the battles and collisions. What else can they provide in the final 12 or so laps? So let's jump on board the Red Bull and see what he can do for this little bit of lap, and see what the sound of the Red Bull is like. As we head towards the end of this, Mr. G is boxing at the end of this lap. What will he go on to? Potentially the soft tyres for this final part, or is that the mediums there? Oh, we will jump back on board in a moment. So we've got MJ 4/10 behind. Ryan has left the session once more. Let's invite him back quickly. Oh, I haven't got him. Damn. So yeah, right, MJ and Oliver has also now caught up to the back of these two drivers, looking to do any damage limitation from the start or from the earlier part of his race. He is currently 9th from, I believe it was the top 3 he started, so let's have a little look here. He was 5th at the start of this race. He is now 9th. Not what he would want right now, but he has got the ice and he's right on the back of the Sauber. He has got plenty of speed down this straight. He is using what he can, and not quite enough to get past. MJ defending brilliantly down that straight and doing all he could to keep the Alpine behind him there. Capitano as well, doing what he can to keep both of them behind. He has got plenty. Oh, there's a massive bit of a lock up there from Oliver, almost into the back of the Sauber. He did well to avoid the contacts there, and will definitely. Oh my days, we've got Oro as well joining the party as well. Didn't quite expect him to be there. They are all going for this P8 position, and they've also dropped off the back of Capitano. Like they've dropped off the back of Capitano, sorry, by 2 seconds. And MJ is gonna be under a hell of a lot of pressure as we head down the main straight. Let's jump on board the Aston Martin and see what we can grab for this. Oh, that looks very close indeed for a bit of contact between the two ahead of MJ there. And there was some contact as well from Oliver. He taps the rear end of Oliver taps the rear end of Oro and doesn't make any damage, luckily. So as we head now into the final 11 laps, let's look down the field. You've got a fair few gaps here between Ryan, Doctor, Mr. G, Adam. Huge gap between Adam and Mr. G, and a fair few gaps at the back now as well. So we've got Anime and Seven. Anime caught up extremely quickly, wasn't quite expecting him to be there just yet. But here we go, we've got Seven making a move round the outside of Anime and back into first position. This battle now will last for the final 10 laps and will no doubt give us a lot of excitement for the remainder as well. So McCoy in third position has got that position quite rounded up quite nicely at the minute. He is 6 seconds behind the leading two, while Logan is actually closing the gap pretty quickly to the top to McCoy in third position. He is 3.5 seconds with 9.5 laps remaining. We've got an instant up ahead. What has happened there between what looks to be Shifty and Icewatch and Jensen potentially there? So them two now have been lapped by the leading two drivers. They are on a mission to the end right now. With Anime will have the DRS down this straight. What can he do on the Williams of 7? He will try and make the move, or is he going to sit behind for a little bit and try and make it into turn 1? He tries around the outside, doesn't quite make it work. Does go to the inside and round the outside of turn 2 there. Brilliant move from Anime Boy up into first position, and 7 once again falling behind the Ferrari driver, and they are going to go into it again once again into turns 5 and 6. This is fantastic racing between the two leading cars here, and looking for another move. Will 7, he is trying everything he can right now to obviously stay within DRS, but he does have a bit of a wobble. He has now dropped 9 tenths behind. He did get the DRS well within the detection, well within the 1 second at the detection point. He has a little wobble off the exit there. That's going to cost him in to the main straight we go, and he isn't quite within the 1 second mark there. He is 1.1 behind, doesn't quite get DRS this time around, so will miss out down the long straight. He is going to have to give it everything that car has now to make that mistake towards the end of the lap not look so damaging later on. So as we head now into turns 3 with Anime, he is still doing what he can. He has put his overtake on, but so is 7. He has got that gap now down to 7 tenths and looking strong once again to try and make a move on 7 in a few moments, possibly with the DRS. We've got McCoy trying to gain some time here. We've got Logan and Exception battling out for P4. We've we've got Pizza pretty close behind as well, trying to close that gap on the top, well, 4th and 5th drivers here. So Exception half a second behind. Logan was trying to catch up to the leading 3 drivers, but Logan has had to start defending on the Red Bull. He hasn't got as much battery, but we are seeing here that Exception is on low fuel mode, on a little bit of low fuel mode. Not quite enough to be affecting the strip race just yet. Will open DRS, and there it is. What will Logan do in response to this? He does go the inside line. Exception goes round the outside of him, and up into P4 he goes for Red Bull. He will need to bring home all the points he can in this race right now for the team. So he did have DRS in that, down there as well. Didn't quite make enough of an effect for him as the leading car between the two, fighting out 4th and 5th right now. But will once again have... Will he stay behind the lapped car? No, he doesn't. He will give the lapped car DRS. He won't have the advantage himself, but will have the threat of the Ferrari behind him still. So as they head into the final part of this lap, they will once again be playing a cat and mouse game of who will go ahead and who will stay behind. So as for penalties, as we keep as a few more drivers have got some this race, we have seen Exception in 22 seconds at the minute. That is absolutely costly right now for him, currently in P4. That is going to drop him so far down the grid, it could see him outside the points. But we've also got Logan on 3 seconds, McCoy, Oro, Ryan all on 3 seconds, Pizza Capitano on 6 seconds, along with Doctor. We've got Ice on 9 seconds, Mr. G, Shifty and Jensen all on 15, 10 and 18 seconds respectively. And we've got Logan defending the inside line nicely there into the stadium section of this sector, sorry. And we head down the main straight once again with Exception following the Ferrari driver, who's unfortunately now dropped just over the 4 seconds off the top 3, who he was chasing down at a rapid rate earlier on. So Oliver has also joined this little fight for 4th and 5th. He will now try and put a little bit more pressure on Exception. Oro as well, trying to close the gap between the 3 cars ahead of him, doing whatever he can now as well. He's 2.5 seconds or thereabouts behind them, and looking to find a way to break that even more. But the 3 drivers ahead are just flying away now. They are getting DRS off each other and breaking away from the drivers behind. So the second behind is Exception now. He does have DRS still, and Oliver does get past the Red Bull and chasing down Logan in for P4, who is again now closing that gap to the drivers ahead of him. What can he do in these final 3 laps? He is 3.1 seconds ahead, and Seven and Anime have now separated a little bit more as well. Their 2.1 seconds is the gap between them. Could Anime lead for the final 3.5 laps of this race? and take his first win of the season. So Oliver on the back of Logan, he is trying to defend, and Oliver gets past, up into P4 he goes. Unfortunate there for the Ferrari driver, but looking very strong to try and get back at him after the double right-handers. But Oro on exception down in 6th and 7th here. We've got, they are the closest two on track at the minute, other than the two ahead of them. So Oro looking for the move into the DRS zone we go. Exception has a little wobble in the exit there, and down into 7th he goes. I'll be back in a moment. So, exception completely exaggerating, slowing down into the pit lane. He did not want to get himself another penalty there, and 10 seconds is served for that. He is on to the soft tyres, trying to make the most out of, let's be honest, has been a very hit and miss race for him, and not the outcome he would have wanted. He has now dropped down to 13th place, but has now only got 12 seconds of penalties, which will see him probably stay in 14th position, but could, with the fresh tyres and them being softs, he will definitely be much quicker than a fair few ahead of him. So Anime and 7 separated now by 4.5 seconds. McCoy slowly trying to claw some time back on 7 in 2nd place at the minute, and give himself more of a gap to Oliver, who is charging him down at such a rate. He is now 1.8 seconds behind. This could come in for a very interesting final lap between Logan, Oliver and McCoy for 3rd place. But Oliver using all the battery he has to close the gap at the minute. He is 1.5 seconds behind. What can he do on this final lap and a half? So, the Ferrari with the DRS wide open down that straight, looking to do what he can for this final part of the race we go. We do have Anime, who has started his final lap of the race. We've now got McCoy, Oliver, Logan all starting their final laps with Oro on his, and this could be an interesting battle between these drivers for P3. Unfortunately for McCoy, he has driven such a brilliant race, but will potentially lose 3rd place, as we see in the background. Oliver having a little wobble out of turn 3 there, but 7 with a 3-second time penalty. It's not going to affect his race too much right now, as he is 5 seconds behind the leader, but will definitely won't affect him too much either between the cars behind, as he's got a big enough gap as well there. So McCoy and Oliver coming up to the DRS. What can Oliver do in this final part of the lap? Unfortunately not quite enough, as we head round, and Anime takes the win for the first time this season. He takes the checkered flag. 7 comes home in 2nd. McCoy and Oliver in 3rd, 4th, and Logan in 5th. Oro in 6th. Pizza in 7th, along with Capitano behind. We've got MJ now in 9th, followed quickly by Mr. G, Doctor as well, on his way round to come home in 10th place. Unfortunately for Mr. G, his penalties were just slightly too much. We also see, as we see up there on the timing screens, we have also got Oliver on the podium for this race as well, and Ryan coming home in 12th, Exception now, and Jensen finishes off with a little slide across the line, while Exception crosses the line in 13th place. So, what a race we've had here for Mexico. It has given us a lot of strange moments in early stages, all the drivers so close together, everyone just making contact here, there and everywhere. And a few very unfortunate mistakes by one or two drivers. But here we go, we have got Animate 7 Oliver as our podium finishes here, with a very good drive for Anime to be able to claw it back with around half a race to go there. Or actually no, less than half a race, should I say, sorry. So with the top 12 drivers all doing one stops, the majority doing the medium to hards, we've got Mr. G on the hard to medium, and most other drivers doing 3 stops or more, and pulling off some decent drives for their respective teams today. Some could be disappointed with them, others probably very happy with how they did today, and looking probably forward to what next week can bring. A lot of warnings, a lot of penalties given this race, a hell of a lot of incidents, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few of the drivers' penalties get taken off after review, as a few sound like they weren't exactly the fairest. So that sees us here finish at Mexico, and we'll be back for our next race in find out quickly, next week in Imola. So until next time, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.